now we bring to you Jacksonville Jaguars co-owner and the man who runs all things AEW. It is Tony Khan. Howdy, sir.
Hey, howdy. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, there's a lot of important stuff transpiring. Can you just go ahead and tell me that Sasha Banks will be on the Boston show in 5 weeks? Mercedes Moné. You don't know who that other person is.
I'm very excited for AEW Big Business on March 13th. It's going to be so great to bring the show to the TD Garden in Boston. Those tickets go on sale this Saturday. People are going to come from all over the world to go to Big Business in Boston. It's going to be great, but you'll have to tune in on TBS or come to Boston to find out on Wednesday, March 13th.
Okay, so one thing I can guarantee, about a week and a half before that, how excited are you for Revolution, for the new one half of the tag team champions, Sting, going up, him and Darby Allin going up against the Young Bucks in his last match ever?
Well, it's not confirmed yet.
Oh.
Let's see. I mean, Sting and Darby Allin just won the tag team.
So they got to hold on to him.
They've got to, Sting and Darby Allin are the new tag team champions, I think, and also we have to, they just won the belts. I mean, and moments after that, during the celebration with Sting and his family, his family in the ring, and the Young Bucks ruined it. And it was, one of the greatest moments in wrestling, followed by just a terrible, terrible thing. But it'll be something to keep an eye on. But really, what a great moment last night for Sting and Darby Allin to win the World Tag Team Championship. I thought last night was one of the best AEW shows ever. It was one of my favorite wrestling shows. And
Swerve and Hangman to kick it off. Yeah.
There was so much, and the Blackpool Combat Club versus the CMLL Stars, and we're bringing that here to Las Vegas this weekend. Really excited to do AEW Collision here. We've been on such a great run of shows. Of course, last night's Dynamite was one of our best, and Collision has been on the best run we've ever had recently. And we're bringing great international stars. I mentioned those CMLL stars wrestling Jon Moxley and Claudio here in Vegas this weekend. And last night on Dynamite, wrestling them and Bryan Danielson, who's heading to Japan this weekend.
Who it just can't miss. Any match he has with Danielson. Can't miss.
He's
can't
the man.
miss. Well, regardless of what the configuration looks like, how cool has it been to be here for the end of Sting's career and know, hey, we got the event. It's his last match.
I'm so proud of what we've done for Sting and AEW. I think this has been such a great send-off for one of the greatest legends ever in wrestling, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and now one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Right.
Sting and Darby Allin have had this incredible undefeated run, and what they've done in AEW, it's been amazing, and I can't wait for their match at Revolution, which will be Sting's final encounter.
And Sting's a Dallas guy. So obviously we love him back here
absolutely.
in the Metroplex.
Absolutely.
I was curious. I don't know what kind of insight you can give me on this, but I know how business focused you are with the Warner, Fox, ESPN sports streaming service. How, if at all, will that impact you guys?
It's something to keep an eye on. We've got a great thing going on TBS and TNT, and now the streaming side of it, I haven't sold my streaming rights. So it's an option that we have, and it's going to be a very exciting year for media rights and wrestling, and AEW is coming up in a contract year, so it's really exciting.
Very exciting for you, especially with those media rights coming
Well,
up.
it's something I made a big investment in AEW with my family years ago, and it's clearly paid off. We built an empire in wrestling. We've got the best roster in the sport, and to have AEW wrestling represented here in Las Vegas, of course, doing Collision on Saturday, having the great stars of AEW, the international champions, sitting over there in the next booth.
Yeah, we talked to him.
He's going to be
absolutely.
defending the title against one of the greatest
Ishii.
wrestlers in the world this weekend, and his partner. They've had they've teamed up and won in AEW before, and now this first time they've ever wrestled one-on-one. And that match is Saturday on TNT, or you can catch it live here in Vegas. I'm really excited. I think we built the greatest roster in wrestling, and we have the best relationships in wrestling to be able to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, these great companies. And we have so many great markets where we've built a great tradition. And, of course, Texas is one of our best places.
Garland, and obviously y'all just did Final Battle up at Arlington.
Yeah, absolutely. Garland and Arlington, just that Dallas Metroplex, I love it. And I love bringing the Von Erichs back to Dallas. That was pretty cool.
I like Marshall and Ross are friends of mine. I actually live in Garland. So when y'all have shows 10 minutes from my house, I'm a big fan. Big fan of that.
And we're coming to Cedar Park around Austin this week, too. So that's a very manageable drive. It'll be a really fun Wednesday night show. And AEW's on one of our best runs ever right now.
Do you feel like Go ahead.
I was about to say it's always the road to revolution, it feels like, right?
Exactly. And do you feel like the wrestling community in general has been ahead of the curve on streaming? Like, obviously, you're dipped into NFL, too, and when there's a Peacock-only playoff game, people kind of lost their minds about it. And it feels like wrestling has been ahead of the curve, whether it's with y'all with Ring of Honor, and there's other organizations, WWE, TNA. They have streaming service.
New Japan World.
Exactly.
Sure.
It feels like wrestling has been ahead of this curve.
Ring of Honor, like you said, we have a great streaming service. And Ring of Honor, they'd been operating a streaming service when I purchased the company a couple
Honor
years
Club,
ago.
yeah.
We built it up, and now it's at the all-time high, higher than even when they put the MSG show on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons I got Honor Club to begin with, so that is amazing.
We built it up. We've grown the subscriber base, which is amazing because we actually killed it completely, shut it down, and started from scratch. And built it back up with what the great wrestling we're doing. We have some great things. Some of the best wrestlers and stories are there in Ring of Honor, and it's a great complement to what we do in AEW.
How much easier does that make transitioning, if you do, for streaming, because y'all have been ahead of the game in streaming? Because for some of these old media companies, legacy, whatever you want to call them, they've struggled in the streaming game.
Absolutely. It's something that the NFL has built a great business platform this year, like you mentioned, with our streaming games. I think the work on Thursday Night Football, it's become a consistent hit.
With Amazon, yeah.
Absolutely. Amazon's done a great job with it, and Peacock did a great job with NFL playoffs, and I think streaming NFL, it's definitely a huge component of what we do, and in the wrestling business, it's a huge component. And like I said, I've never sold my streaming rights, so it's something to keep an eye on for us in a big contract year.
Now, while AEW has been rocking and rolling, I know some pain for the Jags. One of my co-hosts loves Trevor Lawrence. What do you think went wrong this season, and what do you want to see from Trevor Lawrence going forward as he evolves as a QB?
Well, I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a great quarterback, and he's a great leader for the Jaguars, and I think we have to help support him, and I think from the top to bottom, it's a team
Sure.
sport, and when we win as a team, everyone's got to contribute, and I think we can make a lot of changes, and Trevor is great, and I think we have to do as much as we can as an organization to build around him, and I think we will. And we got off to a great start this year, and I'm very excited about the rest of the organization coming together around Trevor Lawrence, and I believe he will lead us to another winning season. We've had back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in a long time. It was a great start we got off to, and I think we can all do things better down the stretch to make sure that we win the games down the stretch we need to put ourselves in the playoffs, which I think we all felt like we were very close and we should have probably done this year. And next year I think we'll be in a better position. Of course, we were very happy with the results 2 seasons ago, and I think we can, do that and more. I think there's so much room to grow. We have a really young roster, a lot of good young players, including a great young quarterback with Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going to try and see if I can figure out in the future a co-interview with you and Trevor Lawrence, because my co-host said if we had Trevor Lawrence on the show, he might pass out. So if there's ever an opportunity to get that on, I desperately want to see that happen.
I would love to see that too. And Trevor's the nicest guy of all time, so I'm sure he'd be a great guest for you. Anytime I've seen Trevor in an interview situation, he always knocks people's socks off. He's a great guy.
And then I just wanted to shout you out real quick, not that you asked for it or need it, but last year at the Super Bowl, we talked in person. I told you about my possibilities, our Peace-a-thon charity. You gave me y'all's people's info. You're like, talk to these people. I did. Y'all provided floor seats for an event. We got raised quite a bit of money off of that, and I just really want to tell you I appreciate that y'all getting it done.
Really appreciate it. It was the least we could do, Kevin. Thank you, and anytime. Seriously, I'm always happy to help out, especially for a good cause, and I love pro wrestling, and I love helping out whenever I can, and that was the least I could do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Collision Saturday here in Vegas, March 3rd, Greensboro, Revolution, Big Business, March 13th, Boston. I didn't even have to look at my notes to tell you all of that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
All right. Orange Cassidy might have me as my hype man. In case you need somebody else, I'm here. Tony Khan, thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
There you go.
Great to see you.